Hello everyone, welcome to Vtuber Reacts, and today we have another video, but I did a thing, and this just sounds like a normal video for him, putting a homemade jet engine on a swing. Now the homemade part is concerning me, the jet engine, not so much, or the swing. But let's get on into it. Make sure to check him out down below. And let's go.
How you going?
Good.
You ever seen the Space Shuttle Challenger launch?
No.
It was sick and successfully launched
Okay.
7 astronauts into the sky.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to do that with a jet engine on a swing. But I don't have enough
Successful.
space to do all the big dumb projects I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Until now, and I've bought my dream house. And even paid extra to get a kitchen, 2 bathrooms, and high ceilings.
Nice.
Look at all this space. It's such a liberating feeling being able to chuck a rock anywhere you want. Where the only thing I have to worry about hitting is an endangered bird. I own that tree, and that tree, and that tree, this log, and even this poo.
Ugh.
And this 100 acres of pristine Aussie bush is filled with beautiful animals and plants, and also has more than enough room for a jet engine on a swing.
Yeah, seems about right.
Which might just burn the whole place down. So despite what people say, making a jet engine is actually pretty easy. See this jar with a hole in the top? It's not only a flashlight, but a jet engine. Don't believe me? Watch.
Oh. I think that's just a grenade.
Yeah. No. Alright, you're just gonna have to believe me. And that's the simplest version, and then the jars get more and more complicated, like this and this. But despite how much these people will try to convince you, no one actually knows how they work. And all these scientists, they're just going along with it, because they don't want to seem dumb and ask the wrong questions and lose their job. Which is why I'm not going to complicate things and get anyone fired, and just make a pulse jet, which is essentially a metal version of this broken jar. You have the combustion chamber here, which when the gas ignites, it pushes out here and here. But because the gas takes longer to come out of this section, it pulses back in or something, and the ignition continues for some reason. And this unexplainable process gives you heaps of thrust, like enough to become a Nazi and bomb England from over 400 k's away, which is perfect for me. So I'm going to copy famous Englishman Colin Furze, as his pulse jet looks fairly simple, but I've decided to upscale my design by exactly 1% just so I can say it's bigger than his. Also, I haven't figured out the swinging part yet. I'll just work that out later. Alright, I started by cutting out this 1.6mm sheet metal, which for those following along at home is this big. But now I have to turn this flat piece into a round section. And the first piece didn't go well. That is not going to line up.
Like a dog.
Neither did the second.
From the vet.
But after using the vise, I eventually got this, which I tacked together. Then I cut out and rolled these tailpipe sections, which was a little harder. Right. But eventually I got this together by using the most ratchet of straps to pull it. So after tacking it together, I need to weld everything up. And after doing a practiced weld on some scrap to make sure I don't screw it up, pretty good, I'm good to go. Looks
good.
And this was a lot of welding and really made me realize how bad I am at following plans. I don't think I ever successfully welded a piece first go. And it was a long process of welding and cutting my own welds and putting them back down and then using a hammer to persuade the pieces into place. And eventually I got these 2 pieces and a mad welding tan. So after I ground down one of the edges on the missile-shaped piece, I welded it to the trumpet piece. And nothing I do comes together without gaps. But the good thing about having the worst welds on the internet is that I can just fill the gaps with more ugly welds and no one expects anything less. But I'm pretty happy. The welds are mostly solid, except for here where I welded around my thumb. And also the whole thing is slightly off center, but it shouldn't matter. Now I just need to run the fuel line. So I got this pipe and welded a bolt in the end to make it airtight, then drilled some holes to make it air loose, for the gas to come out. But these aren't randomly placed holes. They are very special. I'm hoping
Can
that
I
if I
play the
put the
flute?
holes in the same direction as the nozzle, when I crank up the gas, it will pull in the air in a phenomena
What?
called the Vitruvian Man, which will ignite and hopefully self-start and eliminate me needing a leaf blower like all these idiots. Like Colin Furs
Okay.
has made over 10 of these pulse jets and never made a self-igniting one, which is just embarrassing. And there you go, the
Okay.
pipe should be in the center of the inlet,
Ooh.
which it looks like it is. So
Sorry,
it's time to give it a
what were
first
you
go.
saying?
And I'm slightly
I know
concerned that the pulse
that
jet might just melt itself as it's only made out of mild steel. If I was a better welder, I would have made it out of stainless steel, just like this beautiful card from Revolut. Revolut is an all-in-one financial super app designed to simplify your money. They've got all you need in one easy-to-use app, including this beautiful card. And to get the link in the description or scan this QR code to learn more.
Scan this QR code if you want that and check out his video. Yeah. Boom. Let's go.
Alright, back to the jet engine.
Mm-hmm.
And after watering down the grass and chucking some weights on top, we turned on the gas.
My welds aren't the best. I can see sunlight coming through.
I'm shifting in my seat a little bit. There we go.
Weird.
And nothing happened.
Oh,
Okay, turn it off.
it says like maybe a safety shut off.
What
So
is
we removed the
supposed to
pesky
happen?
safety valve put in by the government to throttle your Saturday night barbecuing experience and
Really?
tried again with just a sparkler in the combustion chamber.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's in there. Whoa! Raise it more.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh no. Okay, turn it up.
And it's not self-starting, so we tried with a leaf blower.
My junior is that. I don't want to
Yeah.
be smoky.
That's lame,
This seems safe to do barefoot. Ooh. What?
And it started to rumble but still wouldn't kick. And I think my holes are the problem, or the lack of them. So I drilled some more and turned it perpendicular to the inlet and welded that in. I also fixed some of the leaking holes in the combustion
I'm
chamber.
not quite sure
And I do
what
owe
he's
Colin
looking
an
for.
apology. I've also
for.
failed to make a self-starting pulse jet engine. You're not an idiot, we both are. I'm still convinced you're making a sex dungeon under your house though.
Oh.
It started.
I heard it.
It
I
started.
got scared. I turned it off.
Try.
Wait, what do I do when it's at that sound?
When it actually goes boom, you'll say I'll move away. Leave it for like a second unless it like flies. If it starts to move, turn it
If it
off.
starts to move, I'm not gonna be here, Alex.
No, if it starts to move. Whoa, that was it.
I don't like it.
It did it.
I don't like it.
Oh.
I don't like it.
You saw it move?
Yes.
And that time it
That's
sounded like it was
fair.
about
I
to go,
wouldn't
but my
wanna
housemate was
be
too
pulling
scared
the
and
trigger
kept
on that
turning it off.
either.
So I got back my mate, who doesn't care as much about our safety, and gave it another go.
And he just doesn't flinch. Ooh. Now I see what he was looking for.
That is fucked.
I don't think you should stop running that.
Holy.
Cut it off now, Alex.
Yeah, that's too loud.
And we only had that on for a couple of seconds, but it was still the loudest thing my poor ears and neighbors' ears have ever had come inside them.
I
It also
wonder
made
how
me
many
stim for
complaints
some
he
reason.
got.
It was around
Or they just
140
used to this.
decibels, which is louder than a passenger plane taking off right here on my deck.
Ooh.
The simplicity of this is beautiful. No moving parts, just sheet metal in the shape of a trumpet with a barbecue gas bottle. There is really no reason for every man, woman, and child watching right now not to go and make one of these. They are seriously the most fun you can
Well,
have as a
free time is
14-year-old
one
living
and
in a
money
crowded
is
urban
two.
neighborhood. But I reckon if I ran this any longer, the cops would come and
Laws
take
are
it for
three.
themselves to play with. So I'm stopping. Alright, I don't want to continue using sparklers to ignite this thing. I want to feel more fancy and have buttons. And I could use an ignition coil to light it, but I thought it would be more fun to use a taser. And here's a hot tip for you kids. Tasers are illegal in Australia, but you can still
Really?
buy them. They're just called cattle prods, which is illegal unless you have animals to prod.
You have
But in all
animals.
seriousness, I'm getting chickens on the property, so I'm going to need this. So all I did was bypass the battery and switch it over the taser and connect it to this relay. And now
See
when I
the
press
chickens.
this button, it should work. And kids, once again, this is the perfect setup if you want to make a bomb. And then weld it in the spark plug.
This is the great thing about being a bad welder. We can hook cables onto them. Look at that.
That
So
seems
when I
like a
press this,
good welder.
You should hear it
Wink,
go off.
wink.
Why do I hear gas? We should see this go off. Yes. Yes.
All right, now if I'm sitting on the jet engine, I can turn the gas on and off. But what happens if I fly off? Or even worse, what if my clothes fly off? Then I won't have a way to stop the jet engine from flying out of control.
And
So I'm going to make it
you won't be
wireless. So I bought
monetized.
this solenoid and this brass fitting that precisely don't fit my gas pipe. So
But
I
what
just
if it
welded it.
explodes?
That does
Is
not
what
work.
I'm
And
thinking.
I melted the brass. So instead I cut off some hose and stuck that on the end as an adapter, which works nicely. And now I also have the world's first lockable childproof bomb.
What's this?
What do you mean?
Alex. I thought we said you wouldn't have any more drug paraphernalia in the house.
I didn't make it.
Alex, this is in the garage.
I did
You
not.
said you were not gonna
I
have
did
this in
not
here.
make this.
What do you mean?
I didn't make it. He made it.
Is this true? He did it?
He did it.
Ooh.
And now when I press this button, gas should come out. And this is weird. I can hear it, but I can't see it. So either there's a snake in the pipe or the guy gave me invisible gas.
Which one is it? Oh,
Okay, the ignition works well. And after pissing off everyone in the neighborhood with the noise of this thing, you'd think
Yeah.
I'd stop here. But no, I want to be in a Neighbors from Hell episode. So I'm going to make a thrust augmenter. And it's a
Neighbors
funnel
from
thing that
what
goes on
episode?
either one of the exhausts, and for some reason it's meant to add more thrust. But again, it's one of those things in the rocket world where people say it works, but no one can tell me how. Like if this actually worked, surely I could just stack another augmenter on this one, and then another, and another, and another, and get ever-increasing thrust. So let's give it a go, but this time not in the suburbs.
yeah, good idea. Now what's gonna happen?
Alright, the self-ignition doesn't work, and I can't get it to start with the augmenter, as it's in the way of the blower. So I just cut it off, then gave that a go, which still didn't work. But then I realized it was because I was out of gas, so I cut off the augmenter for no reason. And after getting a new bottle, we gave it another go. And I have heard whispers on the internet that if I tip the gas bottle upside down, something magical will happen. And that liquid propane really makes it sound angry, and seems like it increases the thrust. Doing it at night seemed to help the thrust as well.
That was still on. I didn't realize I didn't turn it off.
I don't know if it helps the thrust or if just you notice it more. Ooh. Pretty colors. Nice.
Now, it's time to move the pulse jet to the top of the hill.
Okay, just do not hit a tree, otherwise your head is gone.
Oh,
Alright, now to work
I
out the
just
swing.
noticed
And this can't
the
be like your
hole.
mum's sex swing. I need it to not fall apart under my weight. And originally I wanted to build 2 A-frames and have the swing on that, but I don't trust my welding enough, so I'm going to use God's A-frames, trees,
Those do
which are super
not look
strong
sturdy.
and don't fall over. And these two are in the
That
perfect
bamboo.
position, with a clearing on this side, and on the other side, a nice bushy cliff covered in dry grass. So I got this
Dry
pipe which has walls
grass
3 mil thick and secured it in
not
place with these
seem like a
bearings,
good
which I
idea.
definitely remembered to put on the pipe the first time. And I don't know if these bearings are strong enough, but I also
No.
don't care. Then I just welded
They
some
do
arms on the
not
top
look
of the
strong
engine with the
enough.
support running to the frame, which is made out of steel, as I've heard it's good at holding up against jet fuel. And the reason I need the extra support is if I just secure it on the top like this, I'm sure that spinning jet engine will just peel itself apart. So instead I have the arms running to the frame and then the frame running all the way to the bottom. Then also just reinforced all the welds while also making sure I keep the camera in a way where it doesn't reveal the location of my property to any of you freaks. Alright, now
wonder
to
what
see if
that
it fits,
says.
which it does. if I leave my car here, but now I'm stuck.
So what are we going to do? Deflate the tyres.
I think we'll deflate the tires.
Let's see.
We're free.
Did he actually do that?
And if I just tried to run it like this, I don't think it would do 360s, as it would probably just get to like 45 degrees and then just stop. So originally I thought I could get like 5 meters of spear gun rubber and slingshot it to start it off. But then I realized I should just copy what I did in my intro and put a counterweight on top so it really wants to spin.
Gotta love that intro, giving you ideas.
And if
How
you guys
heavy
have
is
never
that?
experienced having a steel pole in between your cheeks while also holding 20 kilos above your head,
I mean, I did do gymnastics, but that wasn't a steel pole. It was like a cushiony pillar, and I didn't have 20 kilos because I'm American, and I don't know what 20 kilos is in terms of pounds.
you definitely have to try it. It's
No
a
thanks.
fantastic feeling. When I got down though, we realized we could have just rotated the jet to put the weights on. Also, I realized another thing about the spinning I didn't consider. When the jet engine is upside down, it's going to run on liquid propane.
And
So
how
it'll
are
be
you-
cycling between liquid
how are
and
you gonna
gas, giving
stay
it a lot
on
more
it?
thrust. But we'll also put a lot of stress
Also-
on the solenoid, which is not meant to run on cold.
Not to be that guy, it's not really a swing. It feels more like a Ferris wheel. I know there's probably another term for the actual thing he's making, but that's not like a swing, is it? Because when I think swing, I think it doesn't just go in like a straight circle. There's like momentum and it goes back and forth, and it's not just in the same spot.
Liquid
What do
propane,
I
which
know?
means it could blow up or get stuck in the open position, which is why I got rid of the Chinese solenoid and switched it with this beefy one. And it being Chinese has nothing to do with it. This one just has a bigger hole. Then I just bolted on a chair for me to sit on and put the electronics in a box. And it's done. And after a visit to the car park of an event cinema movie theater, I should have enough fire extinguishers to do the first test.
How do
But
you
just
get
to be sure we
those?
don't burn everything down, we also stole the neighbor's generator and made a firefighting setup. And there's nothing left but to do it. And this is probably the most scared I've ever been before turning on one of my dumb devices.
Really?
What's our plan? Our plan is
I mean, you've had a
do it,
lot
and
of
we're both running
dumb
just and
ideas.
hiding behind that tree.
Or brilliant, I should say. Ooh.
And it wouldn't start, even though nothing has changed since we did the other tests. So we tried different sized gas
It's always
bottles,
gonna
thinking
mess up
that
the
could have
first
been
time.
the issue.
Oh.
And we also tried moving the bottle position around.
Fire in the hole!
Oh.
Why did that happen?
Oh. Oh.
And even though we got it started once, it wouldn't stay on. So we tried a couple more times.
Oh. That's staying. Oh. Oh.
But then called it a night and decided to try again in the morning with a plan. So in the morning we got up and went to a car dealership and installed a TV for them.
We did a much better
Why?
job at this than
What?
the jet engine. First go. Of course, yeah.
Then
Is that
once
what
we
he
had done
does
that, we
for
tried
like
the
his
jet
main
engine
thing?
again.
What? But that was so random.
Why?
Which still wouldn't work. But then we realized that the solenoid was probably the problem. As you know how earlier I said that nothing had changed from our stationary test before? One thing did, the length of this hose, which doesn't seem like it would make a difference, but because it's shorter now, there might be less resistance on the solenoid and the gas can pass through easier. So we did something you're definitely not meant to do and put a kink in the gas pipe, which will hopefully build up more pressure and force the
Why not
solenoid to
just
open
use
all the
the
way.
long one and like wrap it around? What does like a kink do? Does it really make a difference? I guess.
And that was the best so far, but I want it to spin for as long as we tell it to. So we crimped the hose a little harder and gave it
There's
another
something in
go.
my room.
And that worked so much better than I could have ever hoped. Nothing broke, blew up, or got burnt, and it spun continuously until we switched it off. So we tried again, but this time with the bottle fully tilted so it runs on liquid for longer.
Oh,
my
is
Mr.
this where the
Sparkle.
big
Sparkle.
flame happens?
That's been the magic touch, so let's keep with it.
And that was significantly louder and faster than the others, but it still wasn't running on liquid the whole time. You could hear it going on and off. And I think it's because it's spinning, the liquid is getting pulled to the bottom edge like water in a bucket and not coming out. So we waited till night and decided to try a new tank with more liquid propane in it and give that a
This is
go.
where it comes in. Let's see the fire. Deforestation.
Stop.
Oh.
No, it was spraying liquid propane onto you. Get away from it. Get away from it.
Oh,
And we almost set ourselves on fire, so we tried again with the bottle at
would've been
45
bad.
degrees. And then we almost blew the jet engine up. So we tried one last time before finally getting the shot I wanted, and also letting you hear the drop of this song.
okay. That's a nice drop. Hell yeah.
That initial burst, it almost stopped and there was...
And this is by far the best
so
thing
cool.
I've ever made and most fun I've ever had filming a video. But there's also zero chance I'm ever going to sit on this thing. Go make a pulse jet, kids, and do it yourself.
Hell yeah.
Thank you so much for watching.
That seems like a normal day for him. I hope you enjoyed my reaction. And make sure to... Tracking. Okay. I hope you enjoyed my reaction and check out his video down below. And let's hope he does not injure himself in any of his future dumb, brilliant ideas. And my tracking keeps losing me. Okay. Until next time, Bye-bye.